Hello everyone, and welcome back to 4 Kilobyte Shorts Let's Play of Kerbal Space Program with Kerbal Space Adventures. Well, we went to the moon, planted our flag, proved a few theories, and set our sights on our newest project, and I guess that's time for me to start to reveal what that is. So, the first thing we need to do is build a probe. We are going to build a probe. Now, we need a light probe, total mass 0.05, but I don't want a probe that's too heavy. This one's lighter. I like this one. I'll take this one. We don't want a probe. Well, yeah, we need a light probe too. Excuse me. We want a light probe that's not too small, because I thought about going with the teeny tiny one, which I thought might be a good idea, honestly. Whoops. Okay, I don't even know how that happened. Yeah, thought about going with a light probe, but I think that might be a little bit too small. So we're going to try to go with a slightly, and I hate when that happens. One of the problems with the bomb probes is the lineup is not perfectly set. Anyway, so we're going to go ahead and go with I guess a 1 meter probe versus a half meter probe, because the 1 meter probe will work better for our desires. Now, I did design this previously, so I am kind of already up on the design aspect itself. I think. I think. Let's see, we need a couple of things, and there's a couple of things we're going to add to this. Let me go ahead and remember, or figure out if I can remember how they go on here. We need that, and we need that, and we need one or the other of these. I don't know which one just yet. What is this? Kerbal astrophysicists were distressed to find that irregularities in surface mass could cause ships to drift apart or together. Beagle seized the opportunity to put this to use and created the OMD to detect mass concentrations such as those caused by ore deposits. Eh? Oh no, that is not going to be even. Why is that? Nope. Don't care. In case you guys are wondering, this part here, and apparently this part here, are used to detect ore deposits, because that's going to be part of our newest gig. It was something that I wasn't originally going to add. I had thought about it, but it wasn't something I was originally going to add. And then I was like, you know what, we might as well give it a shot. So we're going to give it a shot. I don't know exactly how it's going to work, but we are indeed going to try it out. Now, we do need a couple of other things before we go, including a battery. I didn't put a battery on here, and that's really silly of me, because we need one. So, as I said, I've already designed this once. Come on. Don't know why the game's acting so slow. It's only just started, but that's just the way it is. Anyway. So I already designed this once, but at the same time, I'm not entirely sure how the design is going to work, or if it's going. There we go. If it's going to work. I know battery wants to go on top. Now batteries. No battery. Really, battery? You're gonna want you. Okay, maybe not. Go on. There we go. Ha! Take that. That was just luck, by the way. There we go. So we want a battery. Battery's good. Now, these batteries carry 1,000 watt, or 1,000 unit, I guess. 1,000 watt. 1,000 unit charge. Okay, so that's 1,000 unit charge. That's good. Z40. Whoa, that's big. I like the little buttons, but no. Go away. Alright, so yeah, we need, like I said, I designed this before, so what we're doing is we're building a probe, a very special, specific probe. We don't, oh, too tiny. I know the big ones are, I know the big ones are around here somewhere. And we're going to send this probe to our next destination. Here's a big one. So do we want 2x3 or 1x6? 2x3 or 1x6? You know, honestly, I like the 2x3s better. I really never got around to liking the 1x6s. They just stick out too far. They're like a threat, I guess. I honestly don't know, but that's okay. Okay, we need a map set. There we go. That's nice. And just one. We're gonna put that right there above our little Kerbal engineer, because we're not taking MechJeb just yet. That shouldn't cause an intersection issue as far as I'm aware. Now we want one of these, and I think we'll just slap that on like that, and then put one of these on like here. So here's where I was having the difficulty of choosing. This one's slightly heavier than this one, but works a little bit better. And if we take this one off, and we put this, say, right here, and then we put this one right here, it looks a little bit better, but it's a little bit heavier. So I'm not entirely sure. Well, how much heavier? Honestly, how much heavier? 1798 by and 0.57 by. See, wow, that's a lot heavier. Let's bye. Bye-bye. This thing doesn't exactly fit 100%, but you know what? Done. Let's just do it like that. and then we'll put this right, like, on here somewhere, like this. There we go. So it's not perfect, it's not 100%, but this is going to be our probe body. It's very ungainly looking. This would be so much more awesome if it was slightly less long. If it were 1 meter by 1 meter square, I think, or just, you know, a little bit tinier, in my personal opinion. But I don't know. I'm not going to complain. I didn't build it. It looks really nice. I kind of enjoy how it doesn't have a case on it, and those things are all great. Okay, so this is going to be our probe. It's 1798 meters per second. It has a thrust-to-weight ratio of 0.57, which really isn't that bad. This could honestly get from orbit to the moon without a problem. But it's not going to the moon. That's right, it's not going to the moon. Now you guys may be wondering, well, KB, where is it going? I don't know. Well, I know. You don't know. See, that, yeah. I know where it's going. Hopefully I know. Ooh, you know what? Almost forgot something. Need us one of these. And you know things are going really far when I put one of these little babies on there, right? They're not just going around the neighborhood. No, 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 no. They are going out, and about. And I think we're just going to slap one right here, just for fun. There we go. Okay. I'm going to put that there. Now, to put a rocket under this, and I think we have a subassembly here. Lifters. Oh, you know what? Now I'm thinking about it. I won't be able to use that lifter. No, 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 no. We need to put a specific lifter on this because we're going to a very specific place. And so for a specific lifter, we need one of these. There you go. Let's start. That's step one. Step one. Step two is a fuel tank. And I don't know what the size of the fuel tank is going to be. I have a thought, which I think we're going to start with this one as a test. And then, here you go. Bam, what do we got? 3,454. 3,454 with a thrust-to-weight ratio of 1.09. 3454, huh? 3454 versus, what's the other one? 1976. Definitely not enough to get us where we need to go. This one's close. This was close, but do we have one that can get us slightly closer? Let's find out today. And to do that, we go here and we go like this. 5573 at 0.78. Yeah, I'm liking that. This one will probably be better for thrust-to-weight ratio, honestly, but I'm liking the fuel consumption on this one. So this is our full-on rocket, and no, that was wrong. Go back to where you were, please. Right there, thank you. This is no, stop it. The grab hold of that, like the impact box, is way too wide. All right, so there it is. There is our final stage, I guess you can call it, our very close to final stage of this is a psychotic looking rocket. I think I may have to do something about this at a later date in regards to combining scanners, because there are 3 scanners on here. Any intelligent human being would take, well, I don't know about Kerbals, but any intelligent human being would take those 3 scanners and cram them all into one container. That would be smart. I don't know if you can technically do that with the mods, but hey, why not give it a shot, right? Maybe I'll do that later and we'll just have one big huge scanner on there. And we can put it in this, because I like the eyeballs. It's got like 8 bajillion eyeballs on there, and that would make absolute sense that you could put that on there. It's almost the same size as that thing, you know? Anyway, yeah, wasting your guys' time. This is going to be our probe. It's going to go probe, and it's going to probe everything. It's going to do a scan of a planet we haven't yet seen. Haha. It's going to scan for kethane, and it's also going to scan for metal. Now, the metal deposits are going to determine whether or not stage 2 of this particular voyage / project takes place in one location or another. And I know that sounds really weird, but you will probably be more apt to understand when we get out into the sky place. So I'm going to put a rocket under this to try to get into orbit. It is just a probe. It is not manned. I know how you guys feel about that, because you know, we are doing the permadeath thing, but you have to start with a probe. You can't just send a Kerbal out there and hope for the best. It does not work. Besides, probes are long term. Probes don't need air. But we are going to send a probe, and then from there we are going to send Kerbals, I hope. Yeah, because we are going to need Kerbals for stage 3 of this? 2, 3? Probably more like stage 5, but it's more like stage 3, part 5. And you guys will understand, I promise. But I'm going to go ahead and put a rocket into this, and I'll see you guys out there on the launch pad where we can get this thing into orbit, and then from orbit we're going to get to where we need to go. And from there on, you guys are going to see what's going on. So I will see you guys outside. Alright everyone, here we are out on the launch pad. And if you just take a look down there on the bottom right hand corner of the screen, you will see Duna listed as our destination. That's right, we are headed to Duna. And I better close these solar panels before we take off. Now I did have to fast forward time a little bit, which means I am a little bit concerned about our Kerbals up there in orbit. Haven't had a chance to check on them, and I did have to fast forward time for a little while. But that shouldn't be too big of a problem. I hope we will check on them, of course, in the course of this particular video, just to make sure everyone's still okay. But before we do that, we do have to take off and get up there into orbit. So let's go ahead and do that first. So this is a 6-cylinder rocket, just to ensure that we are set. It looks like we are a little bit heavy on one side of the ship or the other. That's fine. I should be able to control it pretty okay, provided we don't have too big of an issue. Look, yeah, we do have a bit of drag on one side more than the other. I am having to hold it, which is really odd. But we'll figure that out as time progresses. No, okay, it looks like... Whoa, 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 whoa. Alright, ditch those. Whoa, we lost... Oh, nope, I know exactly what happened. I loaded a 6-cylinder asparagus without correcting the fuel lines. That's why we were off center. So, yeah, one of our rockets was unfortunately unable to cope with the downfall. Let's see if we can get this thing back in some kind of order here before we hit the ground. I just want to see if we can land it. It is a probe. No one's going to get hurt. But I am a curious fellow, and of course when you're curious, you want to know if maybe you can land a ship that would otherwise crash to its death. And we're going to go ahead and see if we can do that. And it looks like we can't. Looks like we're a little bit heavy. Let's go ahead and kill that. Ditch, ditch, and ditch. And we'll see how this works for us. Alley-oop. Alright, we're coming down at about 100 meters per second. We may make it, we may not. I'm pretty sure we're not going to make it. But it's always good to try. Not even enough thrust. Okay, so our first massive failure as it pertains to rocket science. Luckily no one was hurt. I will get back inside and correct those issues, and then we'll go ahead and get this flight on the road. Alright everyone, we are back out here on the launch pad. I believe I have the asparagus system corrected. It was just one fuel line that was not connected when I loaded it. That happens, I forgot to check for it, but we should be okay. So let's just go ahead and launch, and we may still have some imbalance issues initially, but they shouldn't progress as badly as they did previously because we were burning fuel out of one tank less than the other. So let's just go ahead and launch. Again, did have to fast forward time just to make sure that we were set with our launch window. Do need to check on our Kerbals up there in the space station. It has been, according to the log, when I had to launch out last time, or had to revert time from the last launch, it did say it was about 34 days. 34 days is a long time, especially without being checked on, and so as I said, we have not checked on them, and that's something we're going to have to do. But that was our first stage. Everything seems to be going just fine, so unless something else goes horribly wrong, I should be able to see you guys in orbit. So I will see you guys there. Okay, here we are in orbit. Had to burn a teeny tiny bit of fuel off this main tank. Very little at all, 5 points by 8 points, just to make sure our orbit was, orbital. We did make it. We're at 123 by 80, which is great. We're 0.79 and 165 for our injection angle. All these numbers should be working towards our advantage to get a good straight shot on Duna. But before we do that, I do want to go ahead and take a look at our crew over in the KSA bubble, which apparently is a good name for the space station. Thank you. A good name for the space station. So we're going to take a quick look at the KSA bubble. I'm going to do the switch over off camera because it's going to take a little bit, but we'll go ahead and see if everyone over there is okay, because I'm really hoping they are. So I'll see you guys there. Alright everyone, we are at the KSA bubble. Frame rate's a little low, but it's looking like everyone is fine. As far as I can tell, everyone's fine. Let's go ahead and take a quick look. Well, let's just look at our resources. What do we got? Carbon dioxide is 0, electrical charge, oxygen. Look at how much oxygen you guys have. You guys have more than enough. It's been 35 days, plus the launch, plus all the other launches, plus the moon landing, and the return. You guys are set. You guys are doing great. This is wonderful. I love it. Mr. Spracco, you seem to be... well, you're not too bad, honestly. You're not too bad. Oh, look at that. Look at that. How can you be unhappy with a pretty view like that? I would never be unhappy with a pretty view like that. Well, I don't know. There's always this sensation that you may be falling to your death. A little bit low on the frame rate, unfortunately. What is that? 48 months it's been up here, almost 3 years. They've been up here. Oh, you guys have been rocking it. You guys have been. Yeah, this is a great test. You guys are doing fine. I'm loving it. Nope. Here we go. Switch our view. Take a look around. All alone. All alone. I have no idea who this is. Pretty sure it might be Captain Corker in there by himself. We got Lothfar. We got Ultra Configs, excuse me. We got Nicholas Bell. We got all you guys in here. You guys are doing great. It's wonderful. Okay, so just wanted to check on you guys, make sure everything's okay. Captain Corker's still up here. Hasn't gone home yet. Better be careful, Captain. They're going to think you went AWOL. Now, I did want to show you guys something really quick while we're here. If we take a look at our map. Now, if you look here, the map looks a little bit better, a little bit cleaner, a little bit brighter. And the reason why is because I got some advice from Scott Manley on how to correct the ISA MapSat scanning issue. I was able to scan both, rescan Kerbin to get the correct height map, because if you guys remember, and if you look at the old video, this is very, very purple, because these are considered very deep locations, when in fact they are not. It's because the ISA MapSat was using old scan data, and it's also why it couldn't scan the moon. Well, look at that. We got ourselves a moon scan. So I was able to take a satellite up and scan the moon in another profile, which of course allowed it to populate this profile with moon data. So we have moon data. We have anomaly data as well. So no new anomalies as far as I can tell. So it's very, 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 very nice. That also means we should be able to scan Duna. And I don't know if Ike got a facelift, but if we have the fuel, we may go ahead and scan Ike as well. But I just want to give you guys a heads up and show you that that is in fact working. I can't tell you how to do it. It's a whole tutorial unto itself. It does have to do with editing some files and downloading specific versions of the mod. Check out the forums. They will absolutely help you out with that. But so we're good here, and because I don't want to waste too much time of this video checking on something we've already done, even though you guys are awesome in here, chilling out, hanging out, feeling happy. I guess. Looks like it. I'm not sure. Well, nope, they're not happy now. Apparently something's gone horribly wrong. Oh, I'm leaving. That's that's what's gone horribly wrong. We're going to go ahead and head back to the, what I call the other ship is the KSA Scanotron, I believe is what I called it. Yeah, Scanotron, I think is what I called it, because it's got all the scanners and everything on it. Or Revealatron, excuse me, the Revealatron is what I call it, because of course it will reveal everything that it scans. Anyway, so I just wanted to give you guys a heads up on that, make sure everybody's okay. Looks like they are. So we'll get back to the main mission right now. So I'll see you guys over there. Alright everyone, we are back over here with the Revealatron. Yes, the Revealatron, as I so graciously named our little ship. As you notice, our burn marker is pointed straight at Kerbin. That is an unfortunate side effect. That burn comes in 10 minutes and should put us within 3.6 million meters. So 3.6, well, I don't know, million meters or 3.600 kilometers, I think is the right math for that. Anyway, so provided that our burn is set properly, we should be able to make it without too much of a problem. I'm hoping our orbit is high enough. It should be. It's at a apoapsis of 123,000 or 123 kilometers on this end, and hopefully that will be right. Otherwise, we're going to slightly burn towards Kerbin a little bit, and that can become an issue. What can also become an issue is if we slowly lose out on sunlight. That may not be a happy time for us. So here's our, yep, so there's our max apoapsis. You know, I don't know how long this burn's going to take, so let's go ahead and kick it into gear. So it looks like it's going to take 2 minutes 15 seconds. We should start burning at what, 1 minute and 6 is a good idea, I think is how that works for a half and half burn. So we'll try that. We'll do a 1 minute 6 and see if we can get that. Or 1 minute 7, excuse me, with my horrible math. And you guys are wondering why I'm good at rocket science. Maybe I'm good at Kerbal rocket science, and that's about it. Alright, so we have ignited our thruster. We have started our burn. I'm going to have to monitor this because it does look like we are a little bit uneven, a little bit not happy with our center of gravity. Our power looks like it's good to go. We're at 1100 units of charge. So because of that, because you guys know as much as I do about how long it takes to get to places like Duna, how long it takes to make these burns. Oh, you know what we do have? I'm going to waste a little bit of electricity in doing this just so you guys can see it. We do have a few lights here. I did put a few lights on so you guys can see. But I'm going to go ahead and kill those to conserve our electricity because we may be on the dark side of Kerbin for quite some time. But because it's going to take a little bit of a time to burn here, and because I don't want to bore you guys with it, I am just going to go ahead and pause. And then I will see you guys when we get much closer to Duna, much closer to our ultimate goal, which I'm hoping you guys will approve of. Well, I honestly don't care if you approve of it, of course, but I really do hope you guys enjoy it as much as I do. So I will see you guys closer to Duna. Not there precisely, but much closer to Duna. So I'll see you there. Alright everyone, as you can see, Duna, right there. Duna and Ike even, chilling out together. What's great about this is our orbit came in really low. We're coming in right underneath Duna. I made a minor adjustment off camera, and that was basically to bring our orbit straight under, so that when we do our deorbit burn, we come to a south-north polar orbit, which is perfect for scanning. We also got lucky enough to where the sun is on our right, so for a very long time, hopefully we won't run out of power, because a lot of these things take up a lot of power. First, I think we may scan. Well, you know what? The ISA map set doesn't take any power. We know that. But we do also know that the keythane scanner takes up a little bit, and I'm not sure how much this takes. I didn't even look at it, so who knows? We'll have to find out. Well, I guess we could turn it on to find out, but we're not going to. So in 12 hours, let's just go ahead and speed that up so we don't have to wait 12 hours. But in 12 hours, we have our deorbit burn. We just have to be super duper cautious about that. I am, of course, fast-forwarding from out here rather than inside the map screen, because we all know what happens when I fast-forward inside the map screen. We tend to fly by our target at high speeds. Now, our initial burn will bring us just outside the orbit of Ike, honestly, around the planet. From there, we're going to have to decide which way we want to go, if we want to come in further, or if we want to maybe scan Ike first and then Duna, but I think we'll just scan Duna. That'll be easier. Then if we want to go back out to Ike, we have that option. Honestly speaking, it would be easier or faster to scan Ike and then go in to Duna, because of course Duna is the larger of the two bodies in the neighborhood, and that would be pulling us towards it much more quickly. But if you notice, we got out here with a ton of fuel left in our big main engine, our big main rocket, a ton of fuel, and then we have a little bit of fuel in our little guy here who's also helping us out, and because of those two things, we have enough fuel to fiddle about a little bit. So we'll go ahead and scan Duna first, because that's the most important of the two targets. Absolutely, it's the most important of the two targets. Let's go ahead and do that. And let's get in there as quick as we can, of course. Well, quicker than that anyway. This is where I have to be a little bit cautious, because we do not want to do silly things and screw stuff up. And this is going to be a 792 meter per second burn. That says it's going to last 4 minutes. We do know that a 1,000 meter burn lasts 1 minute. So we may not be able to do this dead on, but we're going to do our best. Let's go ahead and kick this on. And 9, 8, 7, 4, 3, 2. Okay, then we just crossed underneath the South Pole, it looks like, if being captured is any indication. So we're going to start our burn here. Well, it's 1 minute 22 seconds. It can be a half and half if we want it to be. 1 minute 22 seconds is about 90 seconds, I think. You know what? It's hard to tell. It really is hard to tell at this point. I don't want to screw this up, and we can do orbital adjustments as necessary, so let's go ahead and do it now, because I think I just screwed it up. Well, 1 minute 21 seconds, yeah, so it would have been 90 seconds, so we're a little bit short on our burn time, but that's okay. We'll just burn from here, and that should help us out. We are a little bit uneven, of course. My bad on that one. Slow ourselves down. Let's take a look at our orbital information, because that will tell us how our apoapsis is doing. Now we're at 3.592 million meters, which of course, as I said, puts us on the outskirts of Ike's orbit. And Ike, believe it or not, is not a body that I wish to ignore this time around. That's part of our project. Ike is part of our project. I know, right? It's not just Duna this time. Ike is part of this project. And I don't want to give it away. I mean, you guys may... you've seen all the parts that we'll be using. You know what we'll be doing, at least mostly, I hope. You guys have figured it out. Of course, even if you have, feel free to share, or share what you think, absolutely. If you haven't figured it out, well, just stick around and we'll see how it fares for us. But we are sticking with Duna again this time. I missed Duna from last time. Duna kind of upset me that the nodes and everything were all out of the way. Yeah, you guys remember that when we tried to find all the anomalies and everything, we took our long, fun road trip. It was a super fun road trip. It was even fun to drive. It really was. It was very dangerous to drive, but when we took our super long road trip, and then turns out that everything on Duna was buried under countless of years of sand, and because of that, or Duna dirt if you'd like to call it, and because of that we couldn't actually explore those areas. So here we are. We are now officially in orbit around Duna. Look at that. And there's Ike chilling there. So we are in orbit around Duna. Now remember, we are on the outskirts of Ike's orbit, so we have a chance for an Ike encounter at some point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get us into a much closer orbit with Duna. Probably not as close as I did with the bubble, because I don't honestly know how high Duna's atmosphere is. That's going to have to be something I take a quick look at if we're going to build, or if we're going to bring a satellite down like really close over. But for our scanning purposes, we do want to stay up about 100. I think 100 kilometers would be a good set. So I'm going to go ahead and get that all worked out, get our burn worked in. I think I'm going to burn us down to that area and then start mapping and scanning and everything, and then we'll go ahead and check out what Duna has in store for us. So I'll see you guys there. Alright, much closer to Duna now. Look at that, fills the whole screen even. Well, maybe a little bit at the corners. It's just a teeny tiny, there we go, fills the whole screen. Okay, now it's time to start our scanning. And the sun is right there. And we are moving, it may seem like we're moving at an odd angle, at least it does to me, but we are moving at such an angle to where our solar panels should keep us in line with the sun for quite some time. Now, we do want to do two things, of course. The first thing we want to do is, well, we want to quick save. Just in case there's a glitch. Sometimes there's a glitch. We all know this. Let's lock ourselves in because I cannot stop that rotation. We want to ISA mapsat. To do that, not from there, we do it from here. So we're going to say Kerbin, Moon, Minmus, Mist Minmus, Moho, Eve, Duna. Aha! And we're going to say current position on. Bloop. There we are. Anomalies, we'll leave those off for now. Map drawing on. So there it is. It is starting to draw the map. Now, we also want to blip blip a little bit, so let us blip blip with this detector. Out of range? Really? I don't know what the maximum range on this thing is, so we may have to alternate, or do an alternate means for this, because if this is out of range, we'll have to go back to the VAB to figure out what that is. But that's okay. Turn that off, because it's no good to us. This one should be within range, which shouldn't be a problem, so we're going to activate the keything detector. There it is. And it's going to blip blip its way to happiness for us, absolutely. We're going to disable the scan tone, I think, just for fun, because it's going to irritate me if I don't. And that is what we're going to be doing for just a little bit of time now, because now I have to scan Duna, and in order to scan Duna, of course, I have to stay here and, fast forward time, and it's going to take a little while. It is going to take a little while. Nice mountains. Very lovely mountains, honestly. And we're not even that low. Look at us. We're at 100 kilometers, and you can see the mountains on Duna. That's pretty beastie. Honestly, those are some pretty badass mountains. But anyway, so for now we're going to go ahead and pause here just really quick while I scan the Duna and just make sure that everything is where it's supposed to be. And I will see you guys when I'm done doing that. So I'll see you there. Alright everyone, as you can see, Duna mapped for the most part. There's one little itty bitty line right here that it keeps, every time I pass it, I miss it. I don't know why. Like I pass it on the right, I pass it on the left, and I'm just out of range. So this is like an anomaly or something. It's got to be. It's the Martians, man. They have a city right there. That's what's going on. They're just diverting my path. Okay. I just want to kick up our anomalies, see what we're looking at. So it looks like we have 3 anomalies, possibly. Yeah, it looks like just the 3, unless these are double stacked. It looks like there might be 2 here, 2 here, but that may also just be the way the outline of the red dot is. I don't know. So it looks like we have 3 anomalies, which is nice, which is great. If we take a quick look at our main map, we do have a few keything deposits here, around in here. So look at that. Some big nice ones too, right around the equator. And that is awesome. I'm loving that. Because of the length of time it took to record this, I think we're going to go ahead and pause here. I did just want to get this thing done. The video is probably going to be very short. But this was kind of a twofold mission, both to test to see how hard it would be to get back to Duna. Not that hard at all. Have a ton of fuel left to move around and do other stuff with. It was also kind of to test, well, really, that was about it. There really wasn't anything else. I just really needed to scan Duna, check it out, make sure, like, if we can do keythane. This module here on the nose, our little detector module, does not work. I dropped this down really low to like 75K and then back up to 100, and it just keeps saying out of range. I don't know what the minimum range for that is. Like I said, I have to go to the VAB to check it out, but it doesn't seem to be working right here. And if I go too low over Duna, of course, we will hit Atmo, and if we hit Atmo, then we crash our our little probe, and unfortunately I do not want to crash our probe. I do want to keep it in orbit so we can use it if we need to. Tons of fuel left in here, half a tank full, and then a little bit of fuel left in there just in case we need it. So this is actually pretty well done. But we're going to go ahead and pause here, I think, and I'm going to think about what to do for our next mission, because like I said, this mission kind of has a split. It can go one way or the other, and I'm thinking right now, I'm thinking kind of going one way, but I'm hoping that we'll kind of go the other, and I know that sounds weird, but it all depends on the readings that I'm looking at, as well as a few other things that we will be seeing in future videos. But for now, I would like to thank you all very much for joining me, 4 Kilobyte Short, on this Let's Play of Kerbal Space Program with Kerbal Space Adventures, and I will see you next video.